let's get our full-blown acceleration. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2021 AEV Prospector. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this modified Ram 2500. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Prospector XL, we have the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel that is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 850 pound-feet of torque and then 370 horsepower. Now let's go over the front end of the Prospector XL. So first off, notice you've got the cab lights there at the very top, and then the hood is just like the hood on every other 2500. Nothing's been changed there. We've got the full LED lights here just down below, and then notice we do get fog lights into the aftermarket bumper. We have this crazy aftermarket bumper with the LED light bar there in the center, and then it also does come with a winch. You can see that just peeping out right there. But other than that, that is everything for the front end, and just look how aggressive and menacing that looks. Let's start off with the tire and wheel setup. So we've got 40-inch tires, and they're wrapped around 17-inch wheels, which I love this aesthetic when you have massive tires and smaller sized wheels. It just gives it a cool off-road appearance. But that's the setup in the front and over in the rear as well. And then notice you've got these gigantic fender flares, which have also been added as well. You've got your AEV Prospector XL badge, which looks really cool. Again, I like little Prospector touch right there. But other than that, here's everything for your full side view before we fully get into the suspension here on the Prospector. Now we've got 3-inch dual sport RT suspension here in the front, and we've got to run over so you can show you guys the setup here in the rear, at least what we can see. Just look how aggressive these tires are. They're just absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's the setup on it, and that's why it sits higher, and also that's going to make it a little bit more capable on the off-road. Now let's go over things in the bed. So first off, we do have a liner from the factory. You've got an outlet here in the back, and then you have a full-size spare, which is anchored down just in case one of your tires blows when you take this off-road, and just like all the other wheels. And yeah, that's everything for the back, and pop the tailgate back up. Now finishing things off with the rear, notice that this is built off of a 4x4 off-road package, and then we've got the LED lights back here. You've got an AEV logo here, and then you've got the Cummins logo here on the back as well, and then we've got the aftermarket bumper here in the rear. And well, that's all for the rear. One more thing, I will show you guys kind of everything underneath from the back so you guys can see the whole setup with this truck, or at least what we can see. And then also here's kind of that view from the side so you guys can see everything that's kind of happening. Ooh. Now we've got our normal Laramie door panel here in the back with the wood trim and the suede. We've got these power steps which help out a ton. And then you can see with these seats, you've got the AEV headrest, and then we have the normal Laramie leather seats. And then this does have a rubber floor mat, so it's super windy, so it's just blowing everything around. Everything else back here though is just like any other Laramie from the rear, and so see ya. Ooh. And again. And just like the rear, the door panel here in the front is unchanged, just like every other Laramie door panel. And then this one does have the trailer mirrors. And then here are the seats at the front. Again, you've got the AEV logo, but then you have the regular Laramie seats here just down below. They are power adjustable. And then there's a look at the pedal layout. You got your regular light controls. That is for the outlet there in the rear, your pedal adjustment. And then here's one more look before we actually pop in. Now here's the steering wheel in the AEV. So first off, you've got the full leather steering wheel just like in all of the Laramies. None of these controls have been changed. You still get your gear limiter, your cruise control, voice command controls for the center stack, and the rocker panels in the back for the radio controls. Still has the column shifter, and that's all for the steering wheel area. Now notice that we do get some custom gauges here. Notice that this one says AEV, and then you've got the different coloration for the analog gauge on the RPMs, and then on the speedo on the other side. And then here for the center screen, this is all the same. And then you guys can notice the PSI that the tires are set at right now. But yeah, all of this pretty much is the same. And I mean, it's only got 39 miles on it, but 14.2 miles per gallon. Pretty good for having 40-inch tires. Now here in the center we have the 12-inch display, and since this is a Laramie, you also do get heated and cooled seats, and then this one does have the surround view camera. My favorite part is being able to see the aftermarket bumper, so like that's the rear view camera. You can get like a better view, and then out the front, how you can see the winch right there, and then you can see the front bumper. I think that looks really cool from a view perspective. But yeah, this has the full 360 camera, and we can see the tire in the back. Yeah, pretty cool, just all the stuff that you see through the cameras, since this truck has a bunch of crazy accessories added to it. But yeah, this 12-inch display functions just like on all the other trucks. And yeah, that's everything for that portion. And then if you guys are wondering, the lights there in the front, the little light bar, that is just with the auxiliary 1 button. So just press that and then that'll pop on that light bar. And then since this is a 4x4 off-road package Laramie, it does have the hill descent control, and then you've got your normal 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, and then your 4-wheel low. And then this one does have the center console set up, so you guys can see this whole shebang happening here. And then with all the other Laramies, you still get the leather on the dash, and then the glove box, it says Laramie, and it is a dual glove box setup. And then you have the wood trim here at the top. And then finishing things up, this particular one does have a sunroof at the top, and then all the Laramies do have a power sliding rear window. And let's show you guys the sticker on it. Now here is the sticker from AEV. Feel free to freeze the frame on any single portion of this sticker so you guys can read through all of the specific options that this truck has. And then here's all the stuff that AEV adds to it as standard as part of the Prospector XL package. And then you can see all the options this particular one has. So you can see the total price right there, $98,123. And that all being said, well, I've got to walk back quite a bit of a ways because it's such a big truck. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility here in the Prospector. So first off, you've got the visibility over the hood, and then you have the visibility through both of the mirrors, and then here's throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. We are setting off here in the Prospector, and this is actually the second time that I have driven one of these. Now, the reason I wanted to review this is whenever Sandy gets one of these, I always want to highlight it because it's such a rare truck. I almost never see them, and it's crazy that I've seen 2 in the same year. I think that's awesome. But first off, let's talk about how this thing actually drives. And it looks like Honda just got a Civic Type R. That's always cool to see that. I love that color too on the Civic Type R. Anyways, let's talk about how this drives. So first off, from a ride quality standpoint, it is very smooth actually for a heavy duty truck. Again, heavy duty trucks do ride a little bit rougher compared to half-ton trucks. So if you're used to a half-ton truck, this is gonna feel rough to you. But if you're used to a heavy duty truck, it's really not gonna feel out of the norm. It's pretty much gonna feel normal. Now you do get kind of a little bit more of a floating around motion, and that's kind of expected. Whenever you raise a truck up off the ground, it's gonna kind of float around a little bit more on road. But the added benefit to that is a little bit more ground clearance for the off-road, and so it's definitely worth it. And it looks cool, right? The looks that you get when a truck's this high up off the ground are definitely worth it. Turn in on the truck, really good actually. And we'll get kind of like a partial acceleration here. Yeah, really good torque with that acceleration. We'll see how the brakes are coming up to here. Yeah, stopping power is great as well with the Prospector. It doesn't feel different compared to a stock heavy duty. And well, let's get our full-blown acceleration. Yeah, pretty good. So it does feel slightly slower compared to a stock heavy duty. So like if you drove a Laramie that was, again, bone stock, nothing added to it, this does feel a little bit slower, but it's not a massive amount where it's annoying, where you feel like the truck isn't moving. Again, it still has 850 pound-feet of torque and 370 horsepower. The truck still moves. It's just not as quick as a stock truck, and you can perceive the difference. Now, aside from that, This truck's actually really easy to drive. It is a really big truck and it's got massive tires, but the turn-in's not horrible. The turning radius is not horrible. It feels relatively similar, again, to a regular heavy duty from that perspective. So you don't lose out on anything with that as well. The one thing I do love is just the kind of king of the road feel you get. Like, this truck is so big and you're so high above everything else that you really do get that just like really like hardcore king of the road feel, which I think is definitely awesome if you ask me. And then this is kind of like our little turning thing. I do want to see kind of the handling and maneuverability. So we'll kind of get our turn here. It's really easy to steer too. It's not difficult. Some trucks that are lifted are hard to steer, but this one definitely is easy. It doesn't have crazy body roll either. I'm very impressed with this setup. It's actually really good from a driving perspective. Yeah, it's nice. It's actually really nice. This would be fun to take down a trail. Not go crazy fast, but hey, you actually have quite a bit of fun. So let's sum things up with this Prospector. First off, I think that we can all agree on the outside, this truck is sexy. It looks amazing, just everything about it. And I love the fact that it's got the 40-inch tires on the smaller wheels. You guys know I'm a huge fan of that because it's more practical for the off-road. And I just think it looks better. I don't like that look that trucks have when they've got like 22s and they have the off-road tires. I just think that, I don't know, it's just not my thing. This looks way better. Interior wise, it's just a regular Laramie. I mean, yes, it's got the headrests and the gauges, but I mean, it's pretty much the same. So it's cool, but it's not like too differentiated. And then from a driving perspective, it drives really great. It's actually really easy to drive. And like I said, it feels slightly slower than a stock 2500. And it does drive a little bit different than a stock 2500 because of the size, but it's not too difficult. And so if you're used to driving a heavy duty truck, this is not going to feel too crazy. And yeah, if you're looking for a crazy off-road heavy duty, then I would check out this Prospector. I mean, if you guys are wondering what this kind of competes against, you're looking at like Ford Tremor, Ram Power Wagon, not really because you can't get a diesel in that, but somewhat in this. And then you've got your GMC AT4, for example. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things, but this one I think definitely looks the coolest out of all of those trucks. That's going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 AEV Prospector XL. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this AEV Prospector. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.